The next one is planting the seed. Now, Vinnie mentioned earlier on about, she asked about, can we find a list of new businesses? And most cities have a list. Here in Salt Lake, we have a thing called the Intermountain Commercial Record. It's a publication that's put out weekly. It's quite expensive, but you can pick it up at some of the libraries. You can see it. And what it is every week they publish the names of new businesses. And you can even go to them and you can buy it on disc. So you don't even have to type it in. It's very easy. But here's the problem with planting the seed. New businesses, I shouldn't say a problem with planting the seed. The problem with new businesses is that they oftentimes are not considering the need for an accountant up front. Their first thought is to make $1 million. Their idea is, I'll worry about an accountant when I have something to account for. Okay? Some of them will never make $1 million. Some of them will never hire an accountant. Their businesses might be just very short-lived, okay? And so new businesses aren't necessarily, for immediate reaction, a good source of clients. If you want to go after new businesses, the key is to be patient, okay? You need to look for opportunities where you can meet new business owners. And that could be grand openings. Or you might see a new business opening up in a shopping plaza or in an office environment, or you might just hear of a new business. Anytime you have an opportunity to introduce yourself to a new business owner, take it. And then what do you say when you go up to that new business owner? You don't say, I'm an accountant, can I do your accounting? Okay? You just want them to know that you are there. Okay, that you're there to provide services in their area or in their industry, whichever it is, and give them your 30-second commercial, and then just offer to be of help anytime that they would like, and leave them what? Your business card. Okay, so that's the process we follow in planting the seed. Recognize that it may be 6 months later before you ever hear anything back from that, or you might never hear back from them. But how much time did it cost you to do that? Just a minute or two, and the moment you made a personal visit with that individual, you gave yourself a competitive advantage. Okay? Now, another thing that all of you can do right now, or this week, is go out and get an inexpensive sign to put either in front of your home or on your car. Now, I know some areas have zoning restrictions prohibiting signs, so outside of the house. So you might have to, that might not be an option for you in front of the home if you live in one of those areas. But you won't know unless you check with your city or your homeowner's organization or whatever to see if that's the problem. But get a sign out in front. Now, what does a sign do? Sign doesn't mean that there's going to be a line outside your home waiting for your services. It simply means when people drive by, they're going to be reminded that they have a neighbor that does accounting work. And that may result in a client eventually, in time. Or driving down the road. Every time people see the name of your business and the phone number, I'll give you an example. One of our students was pulling out of a furniture store parking lot. He and his wife. And as he's pulling out on this road, he looks in the rearview mirror, and there's a guy back there doing this behind him. Well, as I've done before, and probably you have too, he thought he had left something on top of his car. So he turned around to go back, and when he pulled up, the guy said, "Oh, thanks for turning around. Hey, I saw the sign on the side of your car. I need some help." The guy in the parking lot just didn't know who to turn to. So he sees this sign. That's the guy to turn to. I don't know what the competitive advantage is other than they were in the same parking lot at the right time. Okay? And that's how he got a client. And how much did it cost him? A few bucks for a sign on the side of his car. And you can get them very attractive. You can have colors even that match the color scheme of your car. So they can complement the look of your car as well. So signage has some value. Doesn't mean that it's going to be, it's kind of a passive approach to marketing. It's letting other people approach you, but it reminds them that you have a business. And if it brings in one client a year, was that a good deal? You bet it was. Okay, so signage. Okay, next thing, trade shows. Now, a lot of people don't recognize the value of trade shows. If you handle trade shows right, they can be an immense amount of, or valuable as far as education and opportunities for prospecting. The first thing you need to do when you enter a trade show is to recognize that these are among this group of booths, okay, where these trade show participants are, there are people in there that need your services. The game is to find them, okay? That's the process, is to find out who it is that needs your services. You're not going to waste your time on people that won't need your services. So you're not going to go to the booths that have companies that have 100,000 employees, okay? Don't waste your time on those. Look for the booths from businesses that have a smaller number. Now, again, if you're going to specialize, look for the trade shows that appeal to your specialty, okay? If you're going to specialize in the construction business, go to a lot of these home builders trade shows, and they're all over the place. And they're full of people that can use your services, okay? So as you're going through, you want to, first of all, gather information on these prospective clients. Now, they always have a table full of brochures, right? Okay? So you want to pick up a brochure for those businesses that appear to fit your particular target for prospective clients. Then you want to ask the exhibitors about their business. Okay, so when you run into somebody that looks like they're a good potential prospective client, ask them about their business. Now, that's what they're there for. Okay, you have to respect the fact that they're paying $700 or $1,500 or maybe $2,000 to sit in this booth for 8 hours or 16 hours. And so they're there to tell about their business. And so you want to learn about their business. That's beneficial to you and to them. You, because you're learning while you're doing it, it's free training. And them, because that's what they're there for. Okay? And then, of course, you want to use your 30-second commercial. You want to share with them, this is what I do. And then you want to ask them how they could best help you. Okay? So you say, what do you do? Then you tell them what you do. And then you ask them, okay, knowing what I do, tell me how you could best help me. How could your services help me? Again, because that's what they're there for. Now, afterwards, you follow up with a letter. Okay? You simply send a letter. It's a good idea to, after you've talked to them, to write down something very briefly on a card about the discussion you had. And then when you send them that letter, you're going to write them back and you're going to say, it's probably, it was a pleasure meeting you at the trade show. I know that you met a lot of different people. I was the person that, and then remind them about your discussion, okay? And then simply enclose a business card, ask them, if there's anything I can ever do to help you, let me know, okay? Now, where's your competitive advantage? Do you know? Do you recognize it? You talk to them. You have face-to-face contact. They now recognize your name. That gives you the competitive advantage. The key to every one of these marketing ideas that we've talked about so far and the ones that we're going to continue to talk about is that you have a competitive advantage, that they know you, okay? That they have some relationship with you. And that's what makes your particular approach to them successful.